Hi everyone. I wanted to record a quick follow-up video to our class last night. I think that the flipped aspect of our final session went really well. Some of the feedback I got from some of you seemed pretty positive. I'd like you to answer this short question and just let me know how the flipped aspect of it went for you. Thanks. So moving into what we did last night, you all presented on your instructional model research, and I grabbed some feedback from you to sort of give a peer review aspect to the teams that as they presented. I have all that data. I'm going to post it on Classroom for you. Feel free to go through it. Feel free to look at it. I think that is one of my favorite things that I learned this year was having the groups of students give feedback to presenting groups as they're doing it. And I saw more and more of you take that on as the year progressed. And I feel like a lot of you were able to get good information out of it. And it really helped grade and score your students' products after they finished them. And it wasn't just coming from you, which is always a positive thing. The next thing, and we didn't actually have time for this last night, you all used the tip chart to add to a Google Drawing instructional ideas that you had centered on creativity and innovation. I'd like you to take a second and look at what your colleagues posted on that drawing and see what things you can take out of there for your class. See what things might be useful for this year, or since it's so close to the end of the year, things that you might be able to incorporate into your lessons for next year. The link is here, and I think there are some really good ideas that came from the rest of the people in our cohort group. Again, we talked about instructional model research last night, and I mentioned, and I just wanted to reiterate, if you didn't get a chance to actually implement your instructional model research in your classroom this year, that's fine, no big deal. That wasn't really the intent. It was for you to explore and research an instructional model that you could potentially add to your class. So perhaps you've done your research and done a lot of thinking and reflecting on the model that you chose, and that's something that you want to add to your class next year. Or maybe it's not. Feel free to switch to something else, but the intention is for next year, for the transform year, is that you'll be able to try something new, or less new, I guess, since you've been working on this throughout the year, but adding that instructional model to what you're doing in your classes this year. So maybe it's one part of it, maybe it's you're jumping in with 2 feet, either way, but our intent is that you're going to be able to add something new to your instruction next year. With that in mind, take a second and think about which thing you think you will add to your instruction from next year from the instructional model research. Maybe it was what you presented on, maybe it was what someone else presented on. I'll also make a Google form and add that to the assignment on Classroom so that you can have a starting place for next year. And again, you're not tied to this in any way. It's just a place for you to start for next year. Moving into the reflection that we did. So a lot of what we did this year focused on giving students an opportunity to own their learning. And I asked you to do a lot of reflection on a shared Google slide. And that was this My Year of Growth. And everyone added some information. I'd like you to take a minute and look through those, maybe add comments where appropriate. But I think it's really good for everyone to see the successes and the challenges that their colleagues are having. And I think it might be a really good place for you to be able to connect with your colleagues in a new way and maybe form pockets of interest or pockets of new solutions. I know a lot of people mentioned in their reflection that the way that they did the Chromebook reservation system this year didn't really work for them in terms of planning lessons and being able to effectively use them in instruction with their students. So maybe teaming up with some people who were more successful, or teaming up with people who are having similar challenges, and maybe coming up with a new system that's going to work better for you and better for your students. I think there's a lot of really good information in here that is from your colleagues. So I think you'll be able to get some good stuff out of here. One of the final things we were thinking about for the last course was how you're a leader in your schools. I know that many of you have, actually probably all of you have a leadership role, not just in the DLC and being a Chromebook leader in the school, but you have so many other leadership roles that I know of, which means I'm sure you have many other ones that I'm not aware of. But it's important to remember that next year, when you're in the Transform year, there'll very likely be Embark people in your school. So you're going to be the leader for those people, and they're going to look to you as a mentor and a place of good information, real information of other teachers who are in the classroom who are taking on this new challenge and transforming the way that they're teaching their students. So some of the ways that you can sort of step that leadership up a little bit in terms of our cohort is taking on those new Embark people, or even taking on teachers that aren't in the cohort to try and, show them what you're doing and spread out the awesome things that you all are doing. You can also share ideas with the DLC people that aren't at your school. So Moultrie and Lang and schools that aren't in Mount Pleasant too are in the DLC. So it's a good place for you to connect with other people. You can use Twitter, you can use email, you can use whatever works for you. And if you want names of people, or you want groups to connect with, and you're not able to go to the digital campfire on the 26th, let me know. I'd be glad to share some information with you and get you connected with other people. You can also invite your principal into your classroom. And I know it's stressful for some people, and it's hard for the principal because, there's one of them and many of you. But if you know you're planning an awesome lesson and you're using the Chromebooks and you're going to be doing something great, invite them in, show them the awesome work that you all are doing. So as a quick reminder, congratulations on completing your Infuse year, and you only have 1 year left. So we have Transform, and it's going to look a little different than Embark and Infuse has. The plan right now is that there'll be fewer meetings. You all will be taking more of a leadership role in Transform. So you're almost there. And I know that it was a bit of a challenge with Infuse and you all not knowing that this was a 3-year program, but I think you've all done a really good job, and you've been really flexible, which I appreciate, especially, me coming into this year new and you all not knowing that this was a 3-year program. So I really appreciate all the work you've done and the flexibility that you've all had. So looking at our 3 years, you've all done Embark, which is more focused on, beginning steps with instruction. Infuse, we're focused on projects and rubrics. And next year with Transform, as I said, it's going to be fewer meetings, but it's focused more on you all innovating and being self-directed leaders and learners. So these are some of the things that you'll be focused on for next year, among other things. So to wrap up, a couple of last things that we're going to look at. End of year procedures are pretty similar to last year. So for your Chromebooks this year, you're going to remove the student profiles from this year. So all those boxes that are at the login screen on your Chromebook, you want to remove those. So if you click the little triangle looking thing on the upper right and click remove account, you're going to have either your students, or if you want to do it, you can do it. But remove all those so that they're gone and you're ready to go at the beginning of next year. And, at that beginning stressful time, you don't have to worry about removing accounts and kids not being able to log in. Make sure that you also wipe down your devices. They get a little grimy during the year, and so you just want to set yourself up for success at the beginning of the year. Please make sure you shut down your Chromebooks. Don't just shut the lid, but actually shut. You can keep them plugged into the wall and keep them plugged into your cart, but make sure that the device is actually shut down. Please lock up your cart in your classroom. So you or your partner, or however many people are sharing your cart, someone just be the designated person to lock up the cart, make sure the keys stay in the room, and make sure someone from the office knows where the keys are. No or make sure that the people who share your cart also know where the keys in the cart are, please. If you have other questions, please let me know about the end of year procedure or what the expectations are. I'd be glad to find out or let you know any information you need to know. As a last minute reminder, we have our digital campfire on May 26th. Again, we're paying for subs and we'll have lunch. If you can come, send me an email and I can see if I can still get you in. The RSVP was a while ago, but I'll see what I can do, because I'd love to have you here, even if you can only come for a half day. It's in North Charleston, and I'm hoping that many of you all will be able to come. I know some teams are not able to. We struggled with finding a day and a time that would work for everyone, so I apologize if you aren't able to make it. But let me know what kind of questions you have about that. We're planning to do a DLC Twitter chat this summer at some point. If you're on Twitter, add your Twitter information to it. I use Twitter a lot. I'd be happy to connect with you on Twitter, but we're going to try and do a DLC chat at some point over the summer to continue our reflection and the innovative work you all are doing, and we'd love to have you. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm at Tech in Teaching on Twitter, and you can also sign up on this form. The URL's on here, and I think I posted it on Classroom yesterday as well. I'd love to hear any feedback that you have about the course, how things went this year, and what we can do to improve your experience. I loved working with you all this year. I'm excited to be back again next year. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm assuming that I'll be back with you again. So if you have questions over the summer, or you want to start working on anything early, please let me know. I'm around through mid-June, so if you want me in your classroom, I'm still working. Please let me know. I'd love to see what you're doing, collaborate on stuff. Or if you want to start planning things for the beginning of next year, now's a great time to do that. We can get things set up and in place if you want to work on rubrics, if you want to work on lessons, if you want to try out new tools. I know there was a lot of interest in blended learning, doing the in-class flip with station rotation. There was a lot of interest on doing screencasts. I'm happy to work with any or all of you on any of those things. Just reach out to me, send me an email, and we'll schedule something. And I think that's about it. So as always, please let me know what questions you have and how I can support you. I hope you have a wonderful end of the year, and I'm looking forward to working with you next year.